Welcome to Mr. Read's virtual classroom. Today, we will begin episode 3 of our Improving Reading Comprehension series. And in episode 3, we will be completing the note-taking process that we started in episode 2. Now, here we have the notes that we generated with our students. And through a grand conversation and through probing, we will guide our students to arrive at the answer that we need. So question number 1 is, who is the main character? After having a grand conversation and probing our students, we will arrive at the following answer. The main character is Carlos. Question number 2. Now the same process continues. We're having a grand conversation and we are probing our students through questioning to arrive at the answer that we need them to arrive at. So what is the main setting? The setting is Carlos's neighborhood. Continuing. Question number 3. What is the challenge? Now, here we are going to discuss with our students that we have identified several issues throughout the story, several problems. But we want them to, or we want to gear them towards the main character and the challenge that the main character encounters throughout the story. So now, if we think about Carlos and the problem that he has, or the problem that he encounters is that he reads a sign on the window of a pantry, of a food pantry, stating that the pantry is in need of food or in desperate need of food. So the challenge is that Carlos wants to help the food pantry. And now, continuing with the process of probing and questioning, we want to guide our students to identify the main challenge of the story. So yes, we know that the problem is that Carlos wants to help this food pantry. But why is the food pantry in need? Or what does the food pantry want to do with the food it needs? So the challenge is that the community is in need of food. And we are going to arrive at these answers through probing and questioning. Further, what is the response? So how does Carlos respond to this need? So the response that we want to arrive at through probing is, the response is that Carlos and his friends organize a food drive. And why do they do that? Thinking back to the main challenge, they organize a food drive to meet the need of the community. And now, with this information, we are going to guide our students to identify the theme. And we want to guide them using the responses to question 1, 3, and 4. Let's go back to our standard that we are addressing. Determine a theme of a story, including how characters in a story or drama respond to challenges. So now we have identified the main character, Carlos. We have identified the main challenge, the community is in need of food. And we have identified the response. Carlos and his friends organize a food drive to meet that need. Now, we will refer back to our initial definition of the term theme that we generated with our students at the beginning of the process. And if we determine that a theme is the main idea of a story, or what is that story about, we can arrive to the conclusion that the theme of this story is a boy that helps meet the need, who helps meet the need of his community. So there we have our theme. The theme of this story is a boy that helps meet the need of his community. And now we can refer back to our standard, and through that grand conversation, or continuing that grand conversation, we can help our students see the connection between our standard and the process that we completed. So for example, here we have our notes and our responses to the 4 questions that we began the process with. And here we have our standard. So within that grand conversation, we can talk to our students about 1, the first part of the standard, determine a theme. We have identified the theme. We have determined that theme. And what is the theme? This is a story about a boy who helps meet the need of his community. Further, we have identified the character or characters, Carlos and his friends. The challenge or challenges being the community is in need of food. Also, the response. What is the response to that challenge? The response is Carlos and his friends organize a food drive. And now with this information, we are going to help our students summarize the text. And that will be completed in episode 4. Once again, I want to thank you for being with me today. And I want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel. Thank you and enjoy reading.